Hello, this is Liz with Crafty Devotion, and here is my final wall hanging. Actually, the first one, because there are 4 photos to this series, and I think I decided I'm going to go ahead and put some of these on in my Etsy shop. So you can go on over and look to see if you're interested in these photos. And let me tell you what I did, because I basically got so into it and so busy that I didn't record what I actually ended up placing on here. But I ended up changing my flower. I wasn't satisfied with the other flower, and so I actually placed this one in here instead. And this bling right here, it's gorgeous bling. That is my newest bling I will be placing in my shop, and it is a doozy and a beauty. And on the tassel, I placed a piece on top for the final bring in the colors, the same as the bottom one that we had tea-dyed in a previous tutorial. Not tea-dyed, but I had showed you how to deconstruct it, and I used it here as well as the bottom, which let me show it to you. There it is at the bottom. And then I placed inside of my tassel this gorgeous fabric that I have. It's an organza vintage fabric that my sister got me, and it just, look how pretty it just curls. It just curls so beautiful. So I placed that. It's almost like a copper color, and then it brings in some of the pinks. You can kind of see some of the pinks, and they're just gorgeous. And here's the green one. I hope I find more of that one, because I just loved it for this purpose. And some seam binding, I think that's what this is called, that I had previously tea-dyed. And this is actually not, this is just a cotton lace. And then down in here you can see the dangles that are from a tea-dyed doily. They're remnants from one of the ones from my series, and I just added them all in there. And up along, let's see, the top, I did this originally. I first did this doily here, and it actually goes all the way up here. It's a triple doily. It has like flowers on it and things like that. And then I had dyed it, so it is an avocado dyed. This one's avocado dyed. And then there's just a sequence trim, a ribbon trim with beads, and here in the center I placed my just one of those fabric cameos. I have a few of these, and I couldn't figure out what to do with this corner, and I'm finally satisfied. I placed that flower underneath. You can see it here. And then on top, I just compiled a small doily flower, which I will teach you guys how to make this doily flower from in the doily deconstruction tutorials. And it has some that are not dyed, but it's a cream colored one. This is the original color of the doily. And then on top of that, I used one of the small avocado dye. This is I was able to get a very dark avocado dye on that one. And then another dyed doily there that is actually green along the edges. This is actually one doily, and I thought it was gorgeous. And let's come along to the right side, and here on this corner I wanted to use this flower, which we made also in the series doily deconstruction doily, and it's a remnant from the all the way around, and we turned it into a flower, and this is how I used it. And then here I have these in my shop, and this is actually an avocado dyed doily, and this is just a little embellishment that I carry. And let's see, along here, this fluffy stuff, I used to carry this in my shop, but I only found one batch of it, and I kept a couple of yards for myself for embellishing, but I just love it. It's a green, very, very fluffy trim that I love the colors of. And then as I put it on here, to me it looked like they were green, like feathers. I'm not a real feather girl, because I've seen the way feathers deteriorate over time. I guess that's why I don't like to use feathers. And you know, I've seen some vintage feathers and they're all falling apart, and I kind of don't want that on most of my projects. I will put it on things that are not as permanent, like, you know, a headband that you're only going to use for a couple of years or so, and it's going to probably get tossed or lost. But I don't like to put feathers in permanent projects, something that I might keep over the years and I might want to hand down from one generation to another, or resell later on. Anyways, in here is just a lot of vintage things. So this, let me come back to there's that green trim, and then on top of that green trim is another doily. And this is a green doily that I actually put in my shop already. I put in some more sets of doilies, and these are the small ones. Let me see if I can find a remnant. Here's a remnant of it. So I've shown you this one, the ones with the pineapples. I also dyed some of this green avocado sage color. It's kind of like a green sage color. It's just a gorgeous color that they came out. Okay, so I placed those here because if you can see, this photo has a lot of green in it. And I kind of wanted there to be some green, but I wanted it to be a little bit balanced and not a lot of green, because since there's so much green already, I toned down some of the green with this coming downwards as part of the frame. And then I actually just added little bits of green along this edge here. And actually all edges, this one has a tiny bit of green in it, you can see. And then there was some green in this over here. So I did put little bits of green. And this is where I put the most green, on this side. And here, this is actually a flower here done with all of this technique using this same type of vintage organza fabric. And with this vintage organza fabric, I might have a lot of one of these colors. This is like a shiny gold, a shiny copper, and this is actually, this is a shiny green. This is a shiny gold and a shiny copper color. And if you are interested, make sure you comment below, and I may sell some strips of it, because I don't have that much, but if you really love it, then I might consider, if there's enough people. And then over here with this same copper, it has like a deep copper, pinkish, purplish color to it. I made a rose right here, and I put a vintage bling in here. That's a vintage earring. And then I think I told you this one. This is avocado dyed one. I think I have this one in my shop also. And that's the one I told you about. And this right here is actually the roses that we made. It's this one that we made in the series, but I tea dyed it. So you could see the colors it became was a more of a goldish color, because I actually did dark tea dye on that. And then along the bottom here, I decided to place some dangles of a pearl, just to bring in some of the pearl color. And you can see here there are dangles, ribbons I made with that organza, and the copper, and there's the green. And along the bottom is where I actually started. This was I would say the photo image and this lace were my inspiration for this project, because this lace came out so beautiful. It inspired me. This was a doily that I turned into lace, and it inspired me, the colors, and I thought they went well with this dress. It brings out the colors that are here, kind of like the sunlight hits there on the dress, and the tones kind of, blend together to me. So that was my inspiration, this and the photo. And then from there I decided I need some tea dyed or dyed items to use in this project. And believe it or not, the very last thing I did was I went ahead and put a vintage lace along the back, and I only had a little bit of it, and so it actually doesn't come all the way down. I'll show you in the back right now, but it was perfect because it just blended in perfectly. So the canvas piece that I had here, I can see if I can pull some of that up. Yeah, here's a piece that you could see the canvas. So I put my photo on the canvas piece, and then this is a piece of a vintage fabric that I have, and it's a nice sturdy, like I would say it feels like the canvas actually. So and first I put down my hanger, and I made it kind of wide because this does have a little bit of weight to it after I placed this on there, because this beautiful bling that's on there is a little bit heavy. So it's a little heavy on that side. So I made sure I gave myself enough space, enough space here. And I hung the ribbons. I put them on first, and then I put the covering on. And then I also had put the lace on from the back. I attached it from the back. Let's see if I find a piece, because I didn't go through and check it. The baby kept on interrupting me. Oh, you can see it right there. I actually attached it from the back of the frame instead of the front. And I do like to do that. I'll decide if I want to add it or not later on, rather than in the beginning, because I wasn't sure I was going to add it. And then I just finished it off with a beautiful fabric in the back. Oh. So there you go. My vintage frame. And I actually at first I wasn't sure about this color right here, this rose that I made, but then when I added this in on the side and a little bit over here, it just brought it all together, and it brings a little bit of the pinks from even these leaves that I have right here. They have like a little pink, almost a little pink shimmer color to it. So I think it brought everything together nicely, and I am actually satisfied with it. And I will see maybe another one. If I do another one, maybe I will record more, but this time this is as much as I could do for you. Sometimes that's just the way it is. I'm just so busy, but I have a little bit of touch up to do still, but it's pretty much done. I'm just going to do a little bit checking around to see if anything's loose, and then from there I will be done. This is Liz with Crafty Devotion. I hope you enjoyed this project. Okay, here is my final project, and I just wanted to share it with you. I used in this project basically a lot of the items I've been using in my new series that I dyed, and this is one of the ones I dyed, and I just think it's gorgeous. And underneath are actually other synthetics that are tea dyed. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the colors. I think I'm satisfied with how my colors came out. But I just wanted to get you to see it kind of like up high. And then I will go and discuss it with you when I do my YouTube share. This is Liz with Crafty Devotion. I hope you like the way it came out. I'll talk to you next time.